about the one I tasted, and that's it.
So after all the planning and all the effort and stress and everything that you guys went through, after the wedding was over, the reception was over, Amy, tell us what your friends and family had to say.
I think my favorite compliment was that what we did most reflected my husband and I, and that it was really true to who we were, that it wasn't necessarily for our in-laws or for our parents or for our friends. It truly was what we wanted, and I love it when people say it just felt like you and Chase. Being there and a part of your event felt like the two of you, and to me there's no higher compliment than that.
Tricia?
Well, one thing that my coworkers told me was they had never seen a happier bride. Like, oh my gosh, you glow, you can't fake that. We know you're a litigator, but you can't fake that. And then my family and friends all commented, not that my coworkers are my friends, but anyway, that my family and friends commented afterwards that was just the most fun wedding they had been to in a very long time. And considering I was one of the last of us to get married, that's a huge deal. So.
Okay, Rainey?
I think the venue really took everybody by surprise, being non-traditional at all. It was so modern and clean, chic, that it really surprised people. We expect to go to a wedding reception, we have certain expectations, I think, and we kind of blew that out of the water. So next to the venue was the food. We had multiple people come back wanting to know who catered, do they have a restaurant, that kind of thing. They were really impressed with the quality of the food, just the presentation of the food, and so those were the two that really impressed me.
I've already been asked. Can you tell us what venue and who your caterer was?
My venue was the apartment in Dallas, and Amuse, Beyond the Box, was the caterer.
Cool. And Tiffany?
People keep telling me that my wedding was the most fun wedding they've ever been to, and like all my friends got married before me, so it was kind of like, yeah, all of you suckers. So that was important to me. That people just kept telling me I just had so much fun. My kids had so much fun. It was just so comfortable, and so y'all. So that was important to me, and I loved hearing. I still love hearing that.
Okay, now back to the planning of your wedding day. What, A, was the most stressful part of that? And then B, what was your favorite part of planning your wedding? We'll start with Tiffany.
List and budget. I think we all told our horror stories about our lists in the back room there. Just mother-in-laws, lists, and mother-in-laws. And then budget, just, this is a little more expensive if you want this, so we're going to have to cut there, and then it's going to be this much more, and, trying to just maintain that budget still was just, I don't do numbers, I don't do math, I don't do money, that's my husband. So it made me cry a lot just thinking about numbers.
Okay, Amy's favorite and most creative part of that?
For me, the most favorite part was actually doing this with my mother. I know some people would think, oh my gosh, and we deal with brides where you need to run interference with their mother, and then you also deal with brides that really enjoy this experience. And for me, that was a lifetime of memories that I would be so thankful to share with her. So know that about your brides. If you're at a venue or your DJ, do they like working with their mother, or are you there to run interference between the mother who wants to take over and the bride? Because they may look to you to do that. And definitely the most challenging part, I wish I had been more forward with my in-laws as a bride and said, I tried to make everyone happy. That's my personality. And so I tried to say, give me a list of how many people you'd like to invite, and thinking that they would be reasonable, and they weren't. And so then I was the bad guy to have to say, I'm sorry we don't have physical space for that many people. I wish that I had been just up front. We would love for you to invite X number of your nearest and closest friends to our wedding, and we have space for this number of people, and really giving them some guidelines. I was too worried about making them happy and making them, approve of me and our wedding when it wasn't theirs, it was mine. So if you can encourage whatever aspect that you're in, encourage the bride to do what is near and dear to her heart and what she wants, not to make other people happy.
Tricia, what are your thoughts?
it's nice to think if you give them a number that they'll stick to it. They don't. The only time I got in an argument with my fiance and cried about my wedding had to do with the list for invites. It's the only time. Everything else was wonderful. And that was a minor argument, but it's still, I mean, it's really stressful, and so that was the worst part. My favorite part, since I like food, was tasting the cake. I had so much fun doing that. I did 3 different tastings. I kind of knew after the first one what was flying, but I did 3. They were great. They were all great. It just did that one worked out better than the other.
Okay, Rainey, what single vendor most affected the outcome of your wedding?
Next to the coordinator, was the DJ that we had. I think that really sets the mood and the tone of the evening. And you can have a great venue, you can have great food, but you can't have people just standing around looking at each other. So he really supplied that, and we love him even now. Still, we love him.
Good. Tricia?
Sorry, I completely zoned. What was the question? Sorry.
What single, and I'm not even going to mess with you on that. What single vendor most impacted or had the most to do with the success of your wedding?
The coordinator. Without it. I mean, I enjoyed my wedding day. My mom enjoyed my wedding day. My dad, everybody. We had a blast because we knew Kate had it under control. You know, it wasn't anything, we didn't have to worry about anything else, and that, I think, made all the difference. It really did.
And not to discount that, but who would you say is second in that list? Because you all have coordinators.
Well, yeah. Gosh. I don't know, I love my photographer. I really did. He worked his tail off. I mean, it was painted work stuff, but I mean, he really did. I mean, he wasn't in your face, but he was there, and he got everything done, and took beautiful photographs. So I think he really captured everything. So it's maybe not the day that impacted so much, but my memories of the day are forever captured because of him.
Good. And Amy?
Actually, I would say the same thing. Clearly, anyone that doesn't have a coordinator, I think, is insane because it takes away from the experience completely. But our photographer, we took ours to Mexico with us and then had them here in Dallas. And again, I would say within a regional budget, we did not have an extraordinary lavish budget, but certain things were very important to us. One of those having memories for a lifetime. And so our photographer went with us and was unbelievable. Was there for a whole 3 days worth of shooting. So I have memories from a Wednesday all the way through a Sunday, which I wouldn't trade for anything in the world.
All right. Tricia, did you choose live or recorded music for your reception, and how did you choose that?
Well, when I started, I remember I met with a coordinator, and it's like, I want a band. Think live music, it's what I need. It'll give me the atmosphere that I want for my reception. And then as the planning process went on, and you start to dig into the cash, and there's less and less, really just like, I don't know that I want to spend money on a band. And then the other issue was that I didn't want just that one type of music for the whole reception. So I got talking to my fiance about what kind of music we wanted, and I'm a kid of the 80s, so there's certain songs that I want to play that even the best band can't pull off, glam rock. So, we ended up going with the DJ, and it was really, we loved it. We had a blast, everybody had a lot of fun, and I think it was the right way to go for us.
Good. Tiffany, live or recorded? Live or memories?
I had the same experience. I wanted a band at first, but then I realized if you didn't get the best band, it wasn't going to be as good as having the best DJ. So, and the money was a big factor as well. So, in the music, just pretty much echo what she said. I just really wanted a lot of dancing and a lot of different kinds of music. And so that was important to me when I chose a DJ.
Amy?
We actually had a live band, which was fantastic. We got very, very lucky. They weren't on the wedding circuit in Dallas. I heard them on Greenville Avenue, and they were fantastic. And since my mother-in-law was requiring us to have this reception in Dallas, it was very important that my husband be able to dance and have a great time. And so we got very, very lucky and got something very reasonable, and they were incredible to work with. And I would highly recommend them to anyone as far as live music goes.
Who was it?
It was the All Fun Radio Show.
Okay, just a few more questions. The grilling is almost done. And this goes to all of you ladies. Is there anything that you would change about your wedding day? Randy?